Hi, this is Jarvis. Welcome to my humble home, my beautiful kitchen, which is nice and clean, thanks to my sweetheart, who says I should not do a video unless the kitchen is sparkling clean. It is now. I have a lot of things I like about this house. This is where the magic happens. A few things I don't like about the design of this house. I'm one of these unlucky folks. My cabinet cabinet bottoms are 16 and 7/8 inches from the countertop, so I cannot fit my beautiful, thank you very much Vitamix Corporation, beautiful new Venturist machine under the cabinets, but it's no big deal to me. Old stalwart, old faithful 5200 here that I've had for almost 8 years. I've been fitting that under the cabinet with the pictures to the side. One of them upside down, so I'm plenty used to that. And isn't that a beautiful lineup? My Vitamix lineup, yes. And one more thing, with a wink and a nod to my good friend Curtis, who I met at the Vitamix convention in Cleveland a couple of months ago. Take a look here on the counter. Hey, there's my honey. Hi, honey. Actually, my real honey is the person who's working the camera right now under the strict condition that she not be in the shot. So, thank you very much, honey, for working the camera. And we're about to get to Vitamixing. I'm going to set up, get us all ready for some blending, and we'll be right back. Okay, just waking up. Time to get my day started. I don't know about you. I mean, this is a great looking setup for a smoothie, but the first thing I need is a good cup of strong, dark roast coffee, which I think I will just pour into this. I'm trying to pour and work my camera at the same time, but I just missed the mug. Oh well. This is my Rock and Roll Hall of Fame mug that I brought back from Cleveland from the convention last month, and I spilled coffee all over. Well, that was pretty silly of me, but anyway, there's my Hall of Fame, Rock and Roll Hall of Fame mug from Cleveland, Ohio. Woohoo! All right, so I'm going to have me some good, delicious, hot coffee, but I also need to start my day with a triple berry smoothie, which we're all set up here. Got my, oh, this needs to be turned on. Let's reach around here and turn the machine on. Got the button on the side. All right, little dashes across the front. Came to a 0, it recognizes the pitcher. So let's put some ingredients in there. What do you say? How about the recipe says half a cup of water. I got half a cup of vanilla yogurt. I prefer vanilla almond milk or vanilla soy milk. Just don't go for that whole yogurty taste, but we're following the recipe. All right, getting some berries in there. First I put in some grapes. Then some frozen blueberries. Those are frozen blueberries. First, that was frozen raspberries just before that. My favorite, frozen strawberries. And that's what we need. So let's get the lid on here. It's going to snap into place. New feature that I like so much. Click, click. Now, I like to time the machine, let it time down instead of timing up, because that means I have to sit here and watch it. I'm going to time this to run for 1 minute exactly. It's got some frozen ingredients in there, so I want to let it run a little bit more longer than it might ordinarily. 40 seconds is usually good for a smoothie, but because of the frozen ingredients, so we'll start it up. It's on slow speed. Turn it on up and let that thing crank up, run itself time. Look at that fan! Actually blew the cup away. Wow! Excellent cooling fan. One cool minute of blending, and we have ourselves a perfect smooth smoothie. When I had my business, I called my smoothies Silkies because my slogan was they're too smooth just to be called smoothies. It's hard to work the camera and pour at the same time. I am learning something new here. Okay, so I'm pouring myself this. Look how beautifully that pours. I'm not getting good light. I'm also concerned, me being a amateur camera person, I'm always concerned need to get the light right. Okay, this is going to yield probably 4 of these, right? These are 16-ounce cups, and if I counted, no, it's going to yield 3 of them. Not quite 3. All right, so put a couple of these in the fridge. I'm going to put a lid on one with the straw. Put the lid on my coffee and try not to spill it some more, and off I go with my day. There you go, the beautiful 3-fruit smoothie on the Vitamix Venturist machine. Woohoo! I just got home from a big Saturday of selling Vitamixes at Costco, and I'm ready for a nice healthy dinner and sit down and relax and play on the internet. So here we go. We're going to make some broccoli and cheese soup. I'm going to double the recipe, so I actually have a pound of broccoli here. Now the broccoli, this is not cooked yet. I'm going to cook the broccoli. I've separated it. I have 2.5 cups. The half cup I'm going to separate out, and I'm going to add that later. We're going to blend the first 2 cups after I cook them real quickly. So this is also a full cup of grated cheese. The recipe also calls for 1 teaspoon of diced onion. Now, I used to own a cafe. I fancy myself something of a chef. I can tell you that a teaspoon of diced onion in this recipe is like no onion at all in this recipe. There's a typo there somehow. So I'm using half of an onion. And again, I'm separating that half of an onion into 2 halves. So it's 2/4 of an onion. One will go in when we first puree, and then I'll add the other half later, and I'm going to roast the onion along with the broccoli, along with this other portion of broccoli. So those 2 items will go in later, after the puree process. Got me some milk back here. Actually, I just realized I need to get some more milk because I'm doubling the recipe. That's only 1 cup of milk. And it asks for some chicken bouillon. Here's something that every Vitamix salesperson will recognize. This is better than bouillon. Yeah. So we're going to add that here in a moment. And again, since I fancy myself something of a chef, and I just can't use any recipe exactly as it's written. I have to add something to make it my own. I'm going to throw in a little bit of black pepper. I think black pepper is one of the most underused of all seasonings. All right, I'm going to cook this broccoli, roast the onion, and we will return to throw all this stuff in the blender and make us some delicious soup. Welcome back to the Vitamix corner of Jarvis kitchen. It looks like we're ready to make ourselves some soup. I have now cooked the broccoli. After it's cooked, of course, it shrinks down. So what took 2.5 cups now takes 1.5 cups. Now, and this is also, we're going to save this part of the broccoli for adding later. I've also sautéed half of the onion. So it's a 1/4 onion sautéed. That's going to be added later. And I've pre-measured my pepper. This pepper container has huge openings, as you can see. And it's real easy, since I'm trying to do this and film it and work with one hand, I don't want to end up dumping half of this pepper container into the jar and end up with too much pepper. And I've explained more about the pepper than you care to know. Here we go. Here are my ingredients. All right, so I've already loosened the lid here, so I'm doing this with one hand. And I'm going to see if I can measure out without using a spoon. Let's take the lid off of our Vitamix Venturist machine. And let's see if I can while filming, pour a nice even approximately an ounce, a little over 2 tablespoons in here, and it looks good. Have you figured out yet that I hate measuring things? All right, here's our perfectly measured grated cheese. When I'm working at home with my Vitamix, I usually don't grate the cheese. I mean, I figure that's what you got a Vitamix for. Just throw a big chunk in there, but that gives us a more precise measurement, obviously. I measured 1 pint of milk. I've got my raw 1/4 of an onion, and here comes the broccoli. Yeah, buddy. And that's still a little bit warm from being cooked. Incidentally, I cooked the broccoli in that pan with a tiny bit of olive oil, and also sautéed the onions with just a tiny bit of olive oil, just enough to give it that texture. And the olive oil will play well in the soup. Let's put the lid on here. And now we are actually going to use this magnificent machine to cook. So we're going to run it up. Got to wake it up, and let's run it up to 6 minutes, which will not take very long. I love how fast this timer reacts and goes up to the times you need. Start it up at once I get to 6 minutes here, we'll start it up slow so it breaks up all of the big chunks of ingredients, and then crank it up to high. Do you mind the extra 3 seconds? 6:03. There it is. All right. So I'm going to start it at low, turn it up to high, let it run for 6 minutes, and when we come back, we're going to have some hot, delicious soup. And then I'm going to add those finishing ingredients that will make it chunky. This is going to be pureed. Any chef will tell you that's the way to make a beautiful soup, is to puree the base and add some chunky stuff later. Here we go. Starting it up. Gonna crank this baby up to high speed. And we'll see you in 5 minutes and 50 seconds. I love the timer feature on this new Venturist Vitamix. That's going to be something I'm going to use a lot. Okay, from this point on, I would kind of like to have 2 hands for my demonstration, so I'm going to ask my sweetie to come back in. Over there is my honey. Hi, honey. Over here is my sweetie. Hi, sweetie. Who is going to do the camera work from here on out on the arrangement, the agreement that she not appear in the shot. But, sweetie, would you at least say hello to all the Vitamix fans out there?
Hi, Vitamix fans.
See, she's a real person.
I am.
Okay. So on we go. All of us Vitamix sales demonstrators love to call this a wow moment. Ready? Here we go. Oh, that is hot. Woo! Wow. Steam coming up off of the blender after running for 6 minutes. So that is piping hot soup. But now we're going to do the finishing touches. I'm adding the pepper now because the Vitamix would, if I had put it in there earlier, it would liquidate this and, liquefy. Liquidate is what you do with your money, with your assets, liquefy. And I actually want the specks of black pepper. This is a chef's trick. I want you to be able to see the little specks of black pepper. That's kind of a nice touch. So that's a pre-measured teaspoon of black pepper. I'm going to throw in the onions, the sauteed onions, and the rest of the cooked broccoli. And grab my lid back here again. And now we're going to run this on slow speed with the pulse feature. Got a little bit of soup on my fingers here. All right. Just for a few seconds at a time. And that's probably good enough. So let's see how this soup looks. Darn, my 16 7/8 inch cabinets. I can't quite get this, but that's all right. I can live with it. Nonetheless, here we go with this delicious soup. And exceedingly nutritious. Look how beautifully this pours. So nice, and the puree is so liquid, but you can see some nice chunks in there. Oh, does that look good? Nice and steaming. It's a nice fall day. People may not know this about, you folks back east don't know this about Nevada, but northern Nevada does not have the hot desert climate of southern Nevada. It's mid-October, and we're actually expecting snow here pretty soon. Now, what's broccoli cheese soup without more broccoli, more cheese? Okay, more cheese. Okay, more cheese. There we go. Now we got ourselves some broccoli and cheese soup. I'm going to grab my spoon. What do you think? This is the way to enjoy some hot soup on a fall evening in northern Nevada when we're expecting snow here in a few weeks, in a few days. Don't worry, I'll pour some for my sweetie too. Thank you, sweetie, for running the camera.
You're welcome.
And so long from Reno, Nevada.
Bye.